You're very welcome back. Now, let's start with a few stories. The IGP has begun his tour of the newly created Savannah region amidst complaints of insecurity on some major roads in the region by GPRTU executives, drivers, and some passengers. Now, ahead of the tour, there have been appeals to the Inspector General of Police, David Asantea Pietu, to very quickly address the increasing rate of armed robbery incidents in Damongo, the capital of the Savannah region, and of course, its environs.
Very refreshing to have the Inspector General of Police to be visiting the Savannah region. You realize that of late we have been recording some armed robbery within the Savannah region, particularly the West Gonja district. And so I wasn't surprised in the introduction of the IGP to the chief, that is the Yagbonra, the overlord. He made it clear that the president of the republic is not happy at the rate of armed robbery cases we have recorded within the West Gonja district. And that is the main reason why he's out on the street himself, to make sure that he is able to have first-hand information by interacting with chiefs, politicians, and opinion leaders to know exactly what the problems are.
Excuse me, do you agree with him on the point where he encouraged sons and daughters of the area, the region, to volunteer security information to the police?
I agree with him 100%, in the sense that even in advanced countries where you have community policing, you have people within the police service and the secret services living like ordinary people within their various communities, so that they can easily tap information and also brief the security authorities. So it's not out of place. The request he has made to the youth at the Yagbonres Palace that all of them are watchdogs committees or watchdog members of each of the communities that they live.
Isaac Nunja is our correspondent in the Savannah North region. He joins us live with an update. Isaac, which areas has the IGP toured so far?
Yeah, Kojo, the IGP got to Busunu. First of all, Busunu is a suburb for the Damago district, the Savannah region. And that is also the proposed site for the police training school. Right after Busunu, he moved to Damago Township, where another 80-acre land has been given out by the chiefs for the regional police headquarters. Naturally, the first one, which is the police training school, is a 200-acre land, free, given by the chief of Busunu, before he moved to the Yagbura Palace, where he gave his mission for the region. The fact that he far away from Accra, he had incident armed robbery, attacks from here and there, and then having received a message from the Vice President, Alaji Dr. Baumia, he has come to the region to take things for himself, assess the situation on the ground, and report back to the Vice President. But what he heard from his personnel on the ground and what he has gone to the site to also see is a clear evidence that really what he heard from Accra is true. And then from a month from now, he's going to work out a solution to the area.
Right. Now, are there timelines for any of these projects? Do we know when this training school is due to be completed?
Yes, there are no timelines. We pressed for that timeline for the two sites, but he said once they have confirmed the site for the building, they have to go back and prepare and then come and start. The GPRU drivers, in fact, they were very worried and they wanted concrete solutions or practical solutions on the spot for IGP to come up and say, look, today, tomorrow, we are going to mount checkpoints here and there because they know the points that these things happen. But that didn't come out from the IGP. He said he will go back to Accra, and a month from now, they will come up with solutions to their problems. Now, when you look at what is happening here, a suburb of Damango called Gurupe and Sereyiri. This is the notorious spots that are robbing every 3 days, according to GPRU authorities. Every 3 days or 1 week or 2 weeks, there's robbery incident there. To the extent that both passengers and drivers are afraid to plow on these routes. Now, if you also take from Sola, from Damago, you move to Sola, either you go to one on the west or left, border on the left. Now, if all those plowing to Bole, Sola, they all move through Damago and then through Gurupe and Serenya. Gurupe, the thing is so notorious because there is this pit, a barrel pit that was created by tipper truck drivers due to their gravel activities. And these robbers will allegedly steal the cars, stop the drivers and move them into the gravel pit and have their way through. There's even allegation by the GPRD authorities that once upon a time, the police were informed about such an incident, a robbery incident. They moved their vehicle up and down without seeing the robbers. And they know they were hiding behind the pit and they were doing that. And it also happened that both the DC for West Gonja and that of Solatuna Kalba are more or less divided as to how to get a checkpoint on this particular spot. Because it happened that allegations coming from both sides that none of them is cooperating to get the personnel. I know getting the personnel to the spot is not really the problem, but how to feed them and to build a structure there to make sure the police are there permanently.
Right. Well, Isaac Nunja, thank you very much for that. And why don't we very quickly now hear on the same issue from the Northern Regional Police Public Relations Officer, Yusuf Tanko.
Did a two-day working visit to the Northeast region and also the Savannah region. And he has come, these are new regions that are springing up, first hand to have the security information that is here. He has toured the highways, he has checked the robbery-prone areas. He has also inspected sites where both the Nairi and the Yagungra have given for the siting of the regional capital of the Northeast and the Savannah regions, respectively. So he's here to have first-hand information and also talk to the traditional authorities, the police officers, and also the politicians, especially the DCs and assemblymen, to find out what the needs are so that when he gets to Accra,